Good evening, everyone. My presentation is regarding a digital edition of the Raghuvaṁśa along with its commentary, the Sañjīvanī, using text encoding initiative guidelines. Ajotikar and Scharf 2023 described standardized procedures for creating XML editions of Sanskrit text containing commentaries in accordance with the text encoding initiative and discussed issues related to it that arose in their markup of Bhatti's Ravanavadha with Mallinātha's commentary. In this paper, we present additional issues that arose in TEI markup of Kālidāsa's Raghuvaṁśa with Mallinātha's Sañjīvanī. We completed markup of the first 5 cantos of the Raghuvaṁśa and first 3 cantos of the Sañjīvanī, and we are presenting the result for the same. We chose to tag Kālidāsa's 1922 edition, which is in public domain. Initially, we started with taking optical character recognition, using optical character recognition at ocr.sanskritdictionary.com, but we found it time consuming to proofread the OCR output. So after that, we got the digital character data in Devanagari available at ebharatisampat.in. We edited that digital character data with Kālidāsa's edition and transcoded that Devanagari data into SLP1, and then our basic material was ready for tagging. So here is the file system. We have a base text, the Raghuvaṁśa, and we have 2 files. One file is we call Samhita file, where each verse is metrically identified. Then each verse is Sandhya analyzed, and all the padas are given a separate XML ID or a unique XML ID, and that file we call pada file. And this pada file becomes a reference for the Sañjīvanī for the commentary file, because we use the XML ID as corresponding for the pada file. Then our Samhita file looks like this, where each verse is analyzed in its own specific meter. It is important because when in Sarga 2, there is predominantly the Upajati meter, where Mallinātha says predominantly it has a Upajati meter, but he doesn't recognize each and every subtype of the Upajati meter. We identified each subtype also, and the table is given in our published paper. So this is pada file, where each pada is wrapped into W element and given a specific or unique XML ID. And thus, for example, as shown on this slide, Sarga 1 has 95 verses and 969 padas. When Mallinātha supplies any information regarding a constituent of a compound, technically there is no word in the base text to which it corresponds. In such cases, we split the compound pada in the Padapata file into its constituents and set each constituent in an M element, as you see in this screenshot, where the word Parvati Parameshwarau is split into 2 constituents, Parvati and Parameshwara, because Mallinātha gives derivation to the word Parvati. So each constituent is wrapped into M element and again assigned a specific XML ID. Thus we have in 3 sargas almost several such segmented constituents. For example, in second sarga, there are 1039 padas and 99 are again split like this. One would expect that scholastic commentaries like Sañjīvanī comment on almost every word of the base text. However, Mallinātha does not always cite the exact pada of the base text. Even without explicitly repeating a compound or other word analyzed, he provides a compound analysis or derivation and just thereby refers to the original reading implicitly. In such cases, we add the whole pada analyzed in the commentary, in a commentary file, in a W element, provided with the attribute value pair type equals inferred. As it's shown in this screenshot, the shlagha viparyayaha, this word is not mentioned by Mallinātha, but he analyzes that compound. So we tag it using the attribute value pair type equals inferred. Such are 81 inferred padas in the Sarga 3 out of 1029 padas. Although in our previous project, we standardized the procedure of tagging Kavya text with commentary, that sample study was based upon a small extent of text, merely 27 verses. The project of making up the first 5 cantos of the Raghuvaṁśa with Sañjīvanī extends the tagging of such text with commentary significantly. While our procedure remained predominantly the same, the additional data required us to enhance the state of attribute value pairs in order to record previously unencountered information in the commentary. For example, these are the 5 values we introduce: alternate, def means definition, paraphrase, syntax, and constituent. I will only give example for first and third in this presentation. Mallinātha provides a synonym to a word wherever it is necessary. In doing so, there are a few instances where he supplies just an alternate morphological form. For example, in the Sarga 1, Vruddhatvam Jarasavina is the base text, where Mallinātha says Jarasa Jarayavina. Jaraya is an optional form, not a synonym of Jarasa. To accommodate this, we just add type equals alternate, that information, recognizing that it is not a synonym but just an optional morphological form. Mallinātha sometimes elucidates a word in the base text with a paraphrase. For example, Vanaya Pita Pratibadhavatsam. Here he supplies Vanam Gantum to explain the word Vanaya. This paraphrase precisely reformulates the original expression in accordance with the ellipsis, which Panini deals with in the Ashtadhyayi by stating the sutra kriyarthopapadasya cha karmani sthaninaha. In order to deal with this kind of paraphrase, we introduce a new value paraphrase to a type attribute. In our previous project, we did not identify the quotations in their sample data. In this project, we tried to identify the source of every quotation Mallinātha cites. There are 3 categories: quotations from lexical resources and metrical literature, quotations from the grammatical resources, which are mostly the sutras quoted from the Ashtadhyayi, and other quotations which are not from lexical and grammatical literature, that is miscellaneous. For the grammatical resources, even if he is referring he gives just a passing reference, in that case also we provide the Ashtadhyayi Sutra number. This is the list of lexical resources so far we identified in Sarga 3. For example, obviously Amara Kosha is referred to, Halayuda's Kosha is referred to, etc. But in this list, the last one is a lexicographical work of Sajjana, which is no longer exists, which doesn't exist anymore. In such cases, we add new catalogus catalogorum reference to that reference in our XML commentary file. Doing identifying lexical resources, we also encountered in the editions there are some discrepancies or corrections needed. For example, in Sarga 1, Mallinātha says Prakara Vrikshayoho Shalaha Sarjataru Smrita Iti Yadavaha. Now, this is not in Yadava's kosha, but it is in Shashvata kosha. So, such corrections we introduce by using Sikh and Kaur tags. And in all these 3 sargas, almost there are 11 instances where we corrected lexical resource. Then there is one more interesting case where Mallinātha actually refers to a variant in the Amarakosha which is not available in printed editions of the Amarakosha. For example, Jugopa Atmanam Atrasto. Here Mallinātha says Trastaha Bhiru Bhiruka Bhilukaha iti Amaraha. But when we look at the printed edition, the reading is Dhire Kataras Trasnau. And variant is mentioned by Lingaya Surin in his Amara Pada Vivruti, that is Trasta Itiva Pathaha. So then at this instant we give the reference to this edition. Then metrical treatises, Mallinātha never identifies the source for the metrical meters Lakshana, as in at the end of the Sarga 1 verse 95. Praharshini meter is there and he gives the reference. He gives the Lakshana, but we found that, okay, this particular Lakshana is from Kedaranatha's Vritti Ratnakaram. Mallinātha quotes heavily from the Ashtadhyayi, occasionally from other sources also. There are some texts which he quotes are not available today. For example, he says, Uktam cha nyaso dyote at alam mahipala tavashramena. And here also we provided NCC's reference. Then there is one example where there is a discrepancy among grammatical texts. For example, Vardhake Muni Vritti Nam. Here the derivation of the word Vardhaka is given by Mallinātha as Dvandva Manodnyadibhyascha iti Mui Pratyayaha. So we expect that the word Vruddha should occur in the Manodnyadi Gana. However, Kashika Vritti doesn't include that word in the Manodnyadi Gana, but we found it in the Gana Ratna Mahodadhi. So there are two possibilities. Either Mallinātha referred to Gana Ratna Mahodadhi for this particular Gana, or he knew Kashika reading in the Kashika Vritti where the Vruddha was a part of the Manodnyadi Gana. Then among miscellaneous quotations, there are at least 21 resources we identified. For example, Ashtanga Sangraha, Kiratarjuniya, Manusmruti, etc. And we use standard editions wherever is possible to give the reference, or critical editions. For example, for Manusmruti, we use Patrick Olivell's edition to identify the reference. Then there are at least 20 unidentified quotations which are listed in our published paper. So let me come to the conclusion of our paper. So we enhanced attribute value pair, alternate definition and paraphrase, which expand the categorization of glosses. Syntax value is a refinement of the derivation category to distinguish an explicit grammatical comment relevant to construing syntactic relation from derivational material, exclusively concerned with the morphology and semantics of the word. And then constituent value allows one to relate comments regarding a compound constituent separated from the compound paraphrase to the compound constituent in the Padapata file. We contributed substantially to the constitution and analysis of those text. We verified and corrected source citations, listed those that remain unidentified, added references to the NCC for non-extant works. We added sources of citations where Mallinātha doesn't reveal them. This gives us opportunity to make significant philological contributions. The contemporary shift of the principal medium of knowledge transmission from the printed word to the digital medium is transforming philology into digital philology, which is future form of textual research. Thank you so much, and these are the acknowledgements. If there are questions and you can hear me, I would like to answer.
Thank you very much. Question? Yeah.
Hello Tanuja, I have a question.
Yes, namaste.
Namaste. The question is related to the compounds. Parvati Parameshwarau. Here, Parameshwarau also can be split further.
Yes.
So, do you have a tagging scheme for embedded compounds?
Yes, we have the tagging scheme because the same procedure will be used since XML is a nested a system or hierarchical system. Parama and Ishvara, these two constituent will become child of Parameshwara.
Okay.
Tag will not change, just the arrangement will change. It will be a child node.
Yeah, and are you also marking the compound type if Mallinātha mentions it?
If Mallinātha mentions it, then in the commentary, yes, but not in the Pada file. For one major reason that you have already completed Raghuvaṁśha's work, so we don't want to repeat the work. That is the major reason.
Okay, but I know that there are mistakes in those files, whatever we have done.
Yes,
and
we can correct it, but we don't want to repeat the
fine. So
task.
Fine, but if this is you are marking it only if in Sañjīvanī Tika it is there, right?
Yes.
Otherwise you are
not
marking. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you.
Hello.
So just wanted to ask one thing. You showed the source file or the mool file. So can you show some snippets from the commentary, how the markup has happened in the commentary side also?
Yes. Can you see my screen?
No, you have to share screen. Now we can see. Yes.
Okay, so this is the commentary file, and this is again the preamble. Okay, so basically this is the division where type equals verse, then correspondence is verse 1, and we give each section a separate XML ID. And wherever, for example, here segment type equals derivation, even sahasamaso, vibhaktya lopascha, etc. He gives explanation for vagarthaviva, where the word occurs. Now, here with this core S1, V1, W1, type equals derivation will be, how Mallinātha analyzes vagarthaviva, that is tagged here. Or basically we can also automatically extract the anvaya with the help of the core attribute here. Because S1, V1, W1, W2, W3 will be the original verse order in the Pada file, and here in the commentary file it is rearranged, and the chorus will help us, chorus attribute will help us in identifying the rearranged order of the verse. So anvaya can be automatically extracted.
Any questions?
So I understand that this works well when it is an explanation of the pada. But when it's an explanation of a concept, or the whole sentence is kind of rephrased, or whole sentence is analyzed from a philosophic or linguistic point. So how does this scheme work then? So I understand, let's say Parvati derivation would be taken care of by the tagging at word level, but there would be some tagging which would happen across the words. So how does that, how is it taken care of?
Well, if philosophical explanation, etc., you said, what do you mean by that? Can you give me an example?
I don't have anything offhand, but there would be cases in which the sentence itself would have been rephrased rather than giving the derivation of a particular word.
Well, Mallinātha is a very disciplined commentator. I agree with you in the case. If you look at the 12th century commentary, another commentary on the Raghuvaṁśa, where there are, paraphrases given, or rather sentence kind of Sanskrit translation given, Mallinātha doesn't do it. Mallinātha is very disciplined commentator. He comments word by word. However, if he gives ityarthaha or some kind of explanation regarding what the verse is explaining, in that case we tag that entire section and give co-resp of the verse, because we have unique XML ID for each unit. For verse is a unique XML ID, for a word pada unique XML ID. So information with co-resp tag, again, if there is additional explanation given for the entire verse, we have the method to tag it. But random sentence explanation, that kind of randomness is not there in the commentary.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, just one last question, maybe. Yes.
I have one question regarding this, the usage Raghunam Anvayam Vakshe. There, Raghunam is, according to Panini, it is not the valid usage, right? How you are, in that sense, actually, according to Panini, it should be Raghavanam Anvayam Vakshe.
No, in 2.4 at the end of look, there is this look section is there. I can't remember that sutra immediately, but Raghunam is plural, where the plural is there, then the apatya pratyaya will be deleted.
Apatya
So
pratyaya will be
Raghunam is
deleted.
a valid usage according to Panini.
According to
No,
Panini,
this is not a Paniniya. This is Paniniya.
So that is Panini. Raghunam is a valid usage, but I am saying in that sense it should be Raghavanam. You might have seen that discussion in Kaumudi and other granthas. Kadam tarhi Raghunam Anvayam Vakshe. So there they say that Aupacharikat. Okay, so it should be Raghavanam. How you are handling such instances? In Mallinātha also, you can see, there Raghunam atra lakshanaya, aupacharakatvat, aupacharat. Raghunam means here, it is figuratively speaking that Raghavanam only. So how you are handling those things? Are you, mentioning those in a special, tag like, derivation or some other information?
Our main project here is delivering a digital edition of the Raghuvaṁśa with its commentary. Now, if in the commentary anything is mentioned, we tag. We don't analyze morphologically entire Raghuvaṁśa on our own. That is not our scope of our project. Scope of our project is using text encoding initiative guidelines, how we can produce an authentic edition, and in doing so, what are the standards we follow, because for Sanskrit text encoding initiative guidelines are not standardized. So Raghunam is correct or not, or whatever the grammatical discussion around it, if that is found in the Sañjīvanī commentary, then we have a way to tag it. If it is not, Mallinātha doesn't comment on it, we don't comment on it. We don't accommodate that case.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. I think, thank you for presenting online.